Okay, so good evening to Mr. Desmond. So, as what have been informed, we will do a short interview for tonight. And before we even begin, do you mind telling us a piece of information about yourself before we dive into the questions, Mr. Desmond?
You gratitude and thanks to both of you, Donegal and Hillary, for giving me this opportunity to involve or in your interview lah, relating to as I informed by you about reflection in teaching, especially lesson planning lah. Thank you very much. First of all, my name is Mr. Desmond Abba. I am 47 years old this year, and I has been teaching as an English teacher for the past 25 years. So now recently, I'm teaching at the moment at SK Lambir Village in Miri, an urban school in Miri. It's about, I think, 11 kilometers of Miri city. And from my resident itself here in Taman Tungku, just about nearly 3 kilometers only lah. So before this, I was teaching in Lawas, Limbang, a small district in Limbang, Lawas. The school is a rural school area, which is called SK Longluping. I was there, posted there, my first posting in 1999 until 204. And then in 205, I was posted to SK Lambel until today lah. So this year, I already reached 20 years in Lambert. Regarding my a bit of my education background, I was the former student of BLTC also, Batu Lintang Teachers College. We were last time the first batch of KDPM, Kursus Diploma Perguruan Malaysia, in intake, the first intake in 1996 till 1999. We were the first batch that time. Okay, and I was graduated with Diploma Perguruan Malaysia in 1999. And then after 3 months after graduations, I was posted to SK Longluping, my first school I mentioned just now. And then in 205, I moved or transferred to SK Lambert until today. And after that, in 209, if I'm not mistaken, I think 10 years after teaching, I pursue my studies in degree or so-called PISMP also, like your course also, among the teachers among the teachers in rank file already teaching. We were given opportunity to pursue our study, so I applied to KPM and was selected through the program Open University in collaboration with Kementerian Pendidikan Malaysia lah. So I started my study in 209 and graduated in 2013. So in terms of the grade, now I am DG 44, also called now grading is D10, and next year I will be promoted to DG 48. God bless lah, hopefully. Yeah, that's all a bit about my background lah.
All right, so thank you, Mr. Desmond, for the information about yourself. So,
Yeah.
without further ado, shall we begin with our interview? And I think Hillary will start first by asking you the questions.
Yeah.
All right. So, when do you see your students struggling during a lesson? All right. My question is: have you ever saw your student struggle during your lesson? And if yes, what did you do during that time? That is my question.
Oh yeah. Of course, teaching is not very easy. because especially when you are teaching in a mixed ability student. What I mean by mixed ability students, we not only have the good one in the classroom, they are from, you know, what they call below achievement group, and then the moderate student, and then the I mean the intermediate and the good student lah, the upper achievement student. So there surely there will be some issues happening in the classroom in terms of the performance of the student because of the mix of the ability of student. So I see this in my class. So what I do is, so you have to find way how to tackle the problem, right? You have to find way identify the student, especially uh, before the start of the lesson. Let's say, for example, the first day or the first week of the lesson. Uh, you can conduct what we call is diagnostic test among your student. So from the diagnostic test, you can clarify or identify the ability or performance of your student. So from there, it is easy for you to do the grouping. Okay, some student maybe the below achievement you put in the first group, and then the second group, the so-called intermediate or moderate student, you put in the middle group, and the best the good one you put in another group. So when come to that, so you must have variety of what we call teaching materials. Okay, teaching material methods of teaching must be different also. But in general, when you come with your lesson, you teach as a general first, and then when come to middle part of the lesson, maybe after 30 minutes of teaching, then you will concentrate to the specific student. You see, okay, after you teaching them as a general in one specific topic or skills, and then probably 30 minutes or 20 minutes before the end of your lesson, because our ordinary lesson is 1 hour, right, to two periods. So the second period you can start with doing remedial to the student. You can doing reinforcement to the student. You can give them enrichment also according to their ability. So the remedial one is for the weaker student, the weak one. And then for the moderate one, probably you give them uh, reinforcement. And then for the good one, you give the enrichment material or worksheet lah for them to do. So that's how you tackle the student. So in learning, in the process of learning and teachings, this kind of thing issue of uh, people is not concentrating, people is not understanding of what you are teaching, it happens, it's normal for teachers. Okay, that's what I can say lah, my personal opinion.
Okay, so thank you, Mr. Desmond, for the first question. Am I audible, Mr. Desmond?
Yeah, yeah, I can
Okay,
listen to you.
so for the second question is how do you keep your students engaged during the lessons?
Yeah, that's good question. Good question. One thing is, you must make your student like you. I mean, they love you. When they have that kind of feeling towards you, then it will be very easy for you to get them along with you. Okay, so in terms of your personality must be good. You as a teacher, you must be very, what we call it, must a lot of variety as a teacher. Not only your attitude, your personality, not only your knowledge, everything must be equal, must be balanced. If you only have the kind of knowledge only, but you don't have that attitude and spirit as a teacher, you cannot go along with the student. So first thing, what you have to do in the classroom, you must attract the attention of the student. If you have the good personality and appearance, we say it, it's a very good advantage already. So from that kind of personality you have, you try to deliver it as long go along with your lesson planning, which is very good. You must prepare good exciting lesson plan, full of fun, which can integrate the student. You can make them participate and enjoy a lesson, probably through singing, like my student. Because mostly I'm teaching the level 2 student, year 4, year 5, year 6. My year 4, they love singing a lot. So every time before my set induction, I will start with singing. I let them exercise a bit with singing for 5 minutes. Only then I start my lesson. Okay. So this is one thing how you have to attract your students. So you always engage with your student, because student they love singing. Okay. After during the teaching afterward in the lesson, then it take place. Okay. Your step 1, step 2, step 3, and so on will go smoothly in your lesson. Okay.
All right, thank you, Mr. Desmond. So, for the next question, do you think it is important to correct mispronunciation and misperceptions that come from students? And why do you think if it is important?
Can you repeat the question again? You say pronunciation?
Yes. Do you think it is important to correct mispronunciation or misperceptions that come from students? And can you elaborate more on why do you think it is important?
Yeah, it is very important because Malaysian English is based on British or UK standard. We are not a Singaporean English. We are based on British standard, right? Malaysian English is similar to English standard. That's why we have CEFR, Common Reference Framework for English Teacher, which is simply based on uh, Cambridge University. So our syllabus in Malaysia is basically from England. So uh, in terms of pronunciation, it's very important for you to correct the student on the spot. Okay, don't. I mean, you cannot just simply ignore it. Otherwise, it will be dragging, and then will become problem for you in the future. Once you realize or you detect the mistake, you correct them on the spot. For example, I give you example for some word which has what we call same sound what with different meaning. What I mean by same sound with different meaning, for example, the word number 8 and at 80, right? 8 is not pronounced as 8, but we say 8. Number 8 Nomor 8 itu 8. And another one is 8. But when it come to the sound, almost similar. 8, 8. Number 2, 2, TWO, the spelling of 2, or TWO. Also 2, 2. But the way you say it differently. Okay? Okay? The spelling also different, but the sound is differently. Like for example, 2, 2, long 2, oh, oh. And another one is at 8. So that's why pronunciation is very important. Okay? The moment you detect the error or mistake made by your student, you have to correct them on the spot. So that is the important of pronunciation. Okay, that's my a bit of my comment about that.
All right, thank you, Mr. Desmond. Now I will let Hillary to ask you the next question.
Alright, so I already went for my practicum last year, and I
Yeah.
have difficulties to identify my student understanding of the lesson. So
Mm.
I would like to ask you, how do you check if student understand while you are teaching, and if you ever need to decide if you need to slow down, speed up, or change an activity during your lesson?
All right. Uh, that is the important of what we call self-reflection in teaching, right? So reflection is not something that I call it a must in a lesson. Not only important, but it is a must. So if during our time as a trainee teacher last time, we are during the teaching practice, we are doing what reflection every day. Okay, during our lesson, after lesson, we will have to do self reflection. and then we will have this so-called weekly reflection, right? I think people also did weekly reflection, right? So reflection is very important in teaching. Okay, not only in teaching. Reflection can be divided into two stages. Reflection of your lesson, and then another one is reflection in your exam. Okay, like in the our education system nowadays, reflection of exam. I go to exam first. Reflection of exam is divided into three now. One is summative test to be conducted twice in a year. And then another one at the end of the year, we have so-called PBD. No, sorry, not PBD, UASA. Okay, UASA will be conducted at the end of the year to identify the key performance of the student overall, right? And then another assessment now we have to do, still doing, is we call PBD, penilaian berdasarkan bilik darjah. So PBD is according to P1 to P6, right? TP1 to TP6. And then when come to summative exam and UASR, it is according to a grading or marking 1 to 100. So just recently, last UASA, if I'm not mistaken, the marks already downgraded. Last time to get, at least to get pass, you have to go. You have to get above 30 marks. So now 20 above already pass. Okay, if you get below 20, you fail the exam. So now it's more linear, what we call, more easy for students to score in English lah. Even though English is, I think, become more and more difficult nowadays, right? Especially when it come to this AI era, you have to use a lot of modern technologies lah. So when come back to the reflection just now, why I say reflection is very important to be conducted after every lesson. Why? One thing is to see the outcome of the pupil's attitude, a performance in the lesson. Okay, and then we want to see also the effectiveness of our lesson itself, so that you can provide what we call follow-up activities in your next lesson and for your future additional lesson planning. Okay, what you see is not right in your previous lesson, you are going to come up with something new, or what, that's why we call follow-up activities to the topics skill we have been has been taught before that. Okay, so especially to the class represented by the mixed ability student, that's what I said just now. Okay, if the student is all in the same level, for example, if they are all in advanced student, especially like a school, selected school like in Miri here, like St. Joseph, all the students are very good, all the achievers group, so it is easy for you to teach. So it is more on enrichment, reinforcement. But for student with mixed ability group, I believe during training or your practical, you will come to this kind of situation whereby you have three mix of ability of student. Then comes the importance of reflections. One, you already have your reflection after you teaching, and then you can see you making your reflection, you can see the weaknesses and the good of your student. Only then you can adapt yourself, you simplify your skill, you can repeat again in the next lesson. So what you did yesterday can be brought up in the future lesson. You cannot simply neglect the previous lesson. What is not achieved yet, you have to redo and redo it again, especially with the below achievements group. But somehow, if that's to be happen, so you cannot finish your syllabus. So what you do, as what I normally do in my class, as I already know who is the below achievement group, 5 to 6, 7 of them in my class. So what I do, I identify them. So in my next lesson, after 30 or 40 minutes of my general teaching, so I will focus on that 6 or 7 student, the below achievement. So I will give them remedial work. So we have to do extra activities lah. You have to provide more worksheet to them. So that's why I said that as a teacher, we have to sacrifice a lot. You have to provide more materials to your students. Okay. So as a teacher, by doing reflection, okay, you can provide remedial, enrichment, and reinforcement to your lesson in the future. To make your lesson more interesting, you can prepare variety method of teaching strategies, a variety of teaching materials. Okay, so like mine, as I said just in the beginning, I used to use LCD monitor in the classroom. So students are they're very keen to this kind of things. Huh? It's nowadays. It's not just like our old times. Huh? We only use chalk and talk and chalk. What we call it, talk and talking, and then do the talk and chalk only. Nowadays you have to use a lot of materials. That's why in the school, as it was very limited in terms of the materials, especially the LCD, only 3 sets only, and the teacher is almost 50 teachers. You just imagine. So how come you can use the three LCD? I think it's not enough. That's why I have my own initiative. I bought my own LCD, so it's easy for me. I can use by myself. Even my friend also borrow my LCD also. So that's the important of reflection lah. So you have to do your reflection after lesson. Okay.
All right, thank you, Mr. Desmond, for the informative comment just now. So, for the next question, it will be from me. And the question is, have you ever asked any feedback regarding your lesson from your pupils? And for example, do you enjoy today's lesson? Or is there anything that you wish for in the future lesson to your students?
Yeah, of course, feedback is very important. That's why in the classroom we are to provide what we call that kind of symbol with 3 colors, traffic or something like that. So every student they will hold this card. Okay, it can be square or circle. The green, the yellow, and the red color. So you bring that symbol or that card to the class every time during teaching. So you give to each student. So after every question, so you will ask your student, who understand the first question? The first question just now. So they will raise up the card. Okay, so there you do the counting. If they put green one, the green one, meaning to say many of the students understand the first question, for example. And then we go to second question. Okay, we do again. How many understand the second question? Okay, if they raise the yellow one or the red one. So you can do the counting there. So the ones raise the red one means they do not understand what you are talking about or they do not understand what you are teaching. Okay. You will see yellow one, that means moderate. And you see most of them is raising up the green one, that's mean good. So that is very important also when you doing exam also. Okay. Future exam. Let's say you are giving first exam and then you see the come out of the result. So you have to do data analysis there. Then comes the data analysis. Let's say you have 40 students in the classroom. Okay, first question, how many get it correct? You have to do counting. Okay, do counting. Out, let's say 40 question. Oh, sorry, 40 question. Okay, first question, out of 40, how many correct? You have to do counting, head counting. Huh? Let's say you put 70% out of 100 will be you regard the question as easy for your student. Let's say out of 40, 30 score or got it right, means the question is easy to your student. Let's say question number 3, very difficult one. Out of 40, only 10 get it correct. So it means the question is very difficult. That is the importance of data analysis. Data analysis is similar to reflection also. Okay, reflection is you doing it daily basis during your teaching. But for the exam, data analysis, you do it for your future exams. So you can simplify your exam. You can recognize or identify the weaknesses of your student through the exam you have given them. Right? So you have to always ask feedback from your student. It's very important. Not only during the doing the signing one, raising this kind of color of thing, you can ask them personally. So like me, I ask my student to ask me freely. If they don't understand my question, the question, just simply raise up your hands, ask me on the spot. So that is the feedback of the student. So feedback is very important. Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you once again, Mr. Desmond, for the informative um, feedback. So
Yeah.
now Hillary will ask uh, another question.
So, I have another question that I would like to ask you. My question is: Have you ever talked to other teachers or your colleague about your lessons in order for you to get their opinions, whether your lesson is good enough, or to identify is there anything that you can improve in your lesson?
Yeah, yeah. That's we call peer teaching, right? In a year, we will conduct this peer teaching among our English uh, panels, right? So the head of panels will appointed uh, two or four teachers. So normally we are only doing one in pair lah. One between these two teachers in a year there will be one sample. So we will do peer teaching. Not only during peer teaching, the head of panel also do walk in classroom. They will go to the classroom, okay, uh, to assess you, not in the full period of teaching, but probably for 5 minutes they will look at you, they will see your student, they will check the exercise book, the workbook, and they will see how you teach. They will take video sometime, they will take photos or sometime. And we also have this so-called PLC, yeah. What we call PLC? I forgot the name of PLC. Yeah, community learning, something like that. Yeah, we are PLC, community learning, something lah. Among the English teacher, whereby we have this PLC to share our knowledge for certain topic, for let's say reflection. For example, the topic is about reflection. So we will gather among English panels. So one person will become the speaker. So we will discuss the topic, giving ideas, opinion, and so on. Okay. And then PLC normally in a year we do 3 times. Okay, 3 times. And then we also talk among our colleagues also what is happening in your class. We are talking to each other, but normally level one student they will talk to level one student. I mean the one teaching year one to year two, year three. Okay, so level two student we will talk among ourselves because in Lambert we have 18 classes. So year one got 3 classes, same thing also with year two, year six until year six. So see, we among our year four, five, six to six teachers, when there's any problems or difficulties, so we will talk to each others. I will come and seek you and ask about my problem in the classrooms. What, how about your class? So there is what we call it discussion lah among ourselves. So importance lah to talk and discuss with your colleague, especially your panels lah.
All right, thank you, Mr. Desmond. So now we have come to our last question, which is what is the hardest part about improving your teaching and how do you improve it?
Yeah, we are like me. I can be so-called already senior teachers lah. I'm almost 50 years. 3 years to go. I'm 50s already. So we are not like you people. You people are very young. I think the the most difficult part is when come to gadget lah, the IT gadgets lah. But I will not say I'm very bad about in gadget things lah, because last time when I study my PSMP degree, also we also already uh, exposed to this kind of gadget lah, material IT things lah. I mean the one already retired now. I mean the teachers just recently retired. They are struggle in what we call it when facing to this kind of gadget like the new things lah. Like nowadays we have AI technology, so we have to learn lah. Like me, I have to learn about AI thing, all these things lah. So everything is new. So never give up. So we are still teaching. There is room for improvement. We are still learning. Nothing is impossible. For me, I always seeks what we call it help audience from especially from the newbie teachers. We have two teachers, English Tesl teachers in school. So I always refer to them, especially when come to gadget things lah, because they are very what do you call it, still new to this kind of method. So they're very good. So that's it lah. So as a teacher, you have to sacrifice a lot and you have to learn more lah. There's no what we call it stopping in learning. Always keep digging up for knowledge. Yeah.
So I think that is all from both of us. And the last question marks the end of our interview session. So
Yeah.
we would like to thank you for being able to be able to join us for this interview session. So thank you, Mr. Desmond.
My pleasure. My pleasure. My pleasure. Thank you also again, Hillary and Donegal, for your time with me, for giving me this opportunity to interview me and give my team 5 cents of knowledge. Uh, I wish both of you good luck and become a good, outstanding teacher in the future. Right? So never give up. Uh, Learning is never stop. All right? Until you get your highest academic. All right? Go for PhD. All right? Don't stop here. After your degree, you go for a master's, and then pursue study to doctorate, PhD. I wish both of you good luck. Okay, thank you for inviting me again. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you, Mr.
Alright,
Desmond.
thank you, Mr. Desmond.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, that's all.